know that nearly half of the world's population is already highly vulnerable to climate impacts such as water shortages, flooding, and spread of diseases, according to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change? Climate change affects all sectors and all aspects of life. Talk of agriculture, health, transport, etc. It is a journey that each one of us has to embark on to either mitigate or adapt with the climatical changes. To cut the long story short, today I was lucky to be among the journalists who are trained by Media Council of Kenya on climate change, not theoretically in the class, but practically in the field. Together with my colleagues and Media Council facilitators, we toured Kakamega Forest.
Uko live YouTube? Oh, hi! Hello, hi fans. Mali tunaenda. We are going to learn and have fun.
I think.
Stay tuned.
Journalists should take opportunities, should utilize opportunities that are there outside, so that they do not focus on just stories in the local media, but explore even to the international media, which have a lot of money.
Opportunity has opened my eyes, ears, and even thinking capacity.
Globally, the rain tropical forests are shrinking in size. So far, so good. We've lost 11.1 million hectares of this very indigenous forests, and Kakamega is one of them. It stretches from Congo. This rain tropical forest stretches from Congo, Gabon, Uganda, all the way to Kenya, especially, and the only bit that this forest covers in Kenya is in Kakamega. So we get into Kakamega forest to learn how the indigenous knowledge of the community is being employed to preserve this very special water catchment area, and also carbon sequestrating landmass, and helping bringing even rain and all that. Is one of the reserves that is being taken care by the KFS and the KWS.
Lenye mimi nimelan kwa hii kitu. Hao watu wanafaa kuwa wanakuja frequently, wanatupeleka huko forest, tuna have fun, tukilani venye tunaweza conserve the forest. Meanwhile mimi nimelan come up na more than 20 stories zenye naweza cover on climate change.
As you heard from my colleagues, there is a lot that we learned today. One thing we realized that is climate change cuts across every sector. So it is upon us to ensure that we conserve our environment. What's up, everybody? I'm Sharon Ambani on YouTube. Sharon Ambani, you can subscribe to that. But before that, we are heading to Kakamega Forest, and there's something about domestic tourism. I am a resident of Kakamega County, but I've not taken much interest in domestic tourism. And I know there are many people like me. We have Kakamega tropical forest just in our county, but there is no interest of people going there and seeing what it has for us. You see people coming from outside the country coming to enjoy what we have, what we've been naturally given by God. So I think this is an opportunity for me to embrace domestic tourism. And apart from that, I have learned a lot of things in this training, that conservancy starts with me. The moment I'll take the step, I know I will have an impact on someone else to also conserve the environment.
What stood out for me during the training is that climate change affects all aspects of life, affects everything that we do, and it's triggered by our human activities. And one way or ways to mitigate this climate change is by doing intercropping, that is mixed farming, preserving the wetland areas. And also, as journalists, we are encouraged to do a lot of climate change stories, to create awareness, to educate the public about the climate change and the mitigations, the adaptations that they can do about the climate change.
Okay guys, I'm Ben Luceno. We are on our trip to Kakamega forest, and majority of you in the few past days you've heard the cry that our indigenous route, popularly known as Umukombera, it is on its knees to depletion, and the reason is of the human activities, the change in the climatic changes that affects the indigenous route, which most of the Kakamega people used it as an additive and for other uses. So actually we are just going there to go and see if it is true that it's human activities, or maybe the change in the climatic condition is the one that is leading to the depletion of the famous Umukombera route. But from where you are, you have a responsibility, both of us, to preserve our environment so that we don't cry in the near future.
Hi guys, I'm Lilian Mkoche. I work for Most FM. Most FM is a learning and community radio station for Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology in Kakamega County. And I'm also the chairperson, Grand Wave Consortium, which brings together more than 15 radio stations across Kenya. And the topic of climate change is what is now it's now thematic, I can say, and the climate change is real, and that is why we have this training by the Media Council of Kenya. And here we just want to develop stories revolving around this issue of climate change, just to make sure that we keep our environment well, we make sure that we save our forests, we save our water streams, we save our rivers. Our current deputy president talked about shamba system, and for me as a person, I don't think it's a good idea, because anytime someone goes to the forest, it does not matter whether he's going to farm, he's going to pick firewood, or he's going to do what. At the end of the day, the forest is being affected in one way or another. So maybe it's an area for us to look at and just see the impact that it will bring to our forest and our environment. Thank you. See you later.
See you who? See you what?
Rera.
Thank you guys. So that is a team that we are with. We are heading to Kakamega forest. We were going to learn a few things here and there about the forest, but again, most importantly, is a topic that we are chatting right now is climate change. And so it is something that everybody has to embrace and ensure that we have to do what it takes to ensure that we conserve our environment. Many other aspects, as we say, farming, the transport sector and everything, it affects us in a way, and so we really need to ensure that everything is done to ensure that we conserve our environment.
So hi, currently tumefika hapa kwa forest. We are meeting some wanaitwa forest officers ama nini. So we want to embark on a journey ndani ya forest kutaka kujua what is happening there, and I don't know, I'm so much excited because I've never had such a trip kuingia tu kwa forest na kuona what is happening, and especially with some of our facilitators who have come, Media Council team and other facilitators. I mean, we have Professor here mwenye amekuja tu pia kuwa na sisi to guide us on how we can just tell stories. Kakamega Forest is one of the major tourist attraction centers in the country because of its richness in biodiversity. It is a tropical rainforest situated in 2 counties, that is Kakamega and parts of Vihiga County. It is Kenya's only tropical rainforest. Kakamega Forest was gazetted in 1933. The forest, which is now called Kakamega Forest National Reserve, is managed by Kenya Wildlife Service. The forest covers 23,773.3 hectares, which is about 240 square kilometers. It is an equatorial climatic zone. Kakamega Forest is a water catchment area which has 4 rivers, namely Yala, Isioho, Ikuywa, and Shitia rivers. The forest also has 84 permanent streams.
Utakuja kuona ikiwa hivi hata kaasani ka hapa ukienda ujue kwa vijiji it's different. It's hardly fine, you don't rule out, but you see when you look at the composition and the richness.
The forest also has 360 species of birds, and 25 species of those birds are only found in Kakamega Forest. It has 7 species of primates. And by the way, did you know that the forest has 510 species of butterflies out of 875 species of butterflies in the country? That means that Kakamega Forest hosts over half of the country's butterflies. It also has 33 species of snakes and 240 species of bees. Wow!
What will happen to the forest itself and whatever animals live in there when the trees are being cut, when there is no undergrowth? I don't know whether you listened to Professor when he was talking and saying about seeds that fall and they sprout on their own. That environment there, which is conducive to the sprouting of trees, cannot happen if there is no foliage from the leaves. So if we allow for the trees to be cut and we say we will plant others, how long is that going to take? See, as journalists, we have to be smarter than the community. We have to be cleverer than the community to inform them of the effects they are likely to face if they are allowed to get into the forest. For their own livelihood now, the future will be worse than what they are going through now.
Because of the high biodiversity and a lot of endemisms in the rainforest, it was regazetted again in the northern section, was regazetted as the Kakamega Forest National Reserve, which is now being managed by the KWS. And the forest is found in 2 counties, or it's located in 2 counties. This is Kakamega County, specifically Kakamega East Sub-County, and then in Vihiga also we have part of it in Vihiga in Kibiri Sub-County. So you'll find the whole forest, it covers 23,777.3 hectares, which is about 240 kilometers squared. And the forest actually, it lies on an elevation of 1,500 to 1,734 meters above the sea level. The forest receives over 2,000 millimeters of rain per year, and the climate here is constant. The forest, it has what we call equatorial climatic zone, whereby it is only 2 seasons, rain and dry. And then when it's very hot, it goes up to 27 degrees Celsius, and when it's very cold at night, it goes about 15 degrees Celsius. Then you can see how vegetation are planning themselves until to the high canopy. So that is why you'll find some biodiversity here that cannot be found anywhere else.
Kakamega Forest has over 1,000 species of plants. 80% of those plants are highly medicinal.
This plant, it is original vegetable, indigenous vegetable that you'll find in the forest. But what we are consuming outside there, those are exotic foods. If you take this one, you eat this vegetable, it cures all those allergies. Even others, early in the morning when they wake up, when they access to that cold in the morning, you'll find they'll start scratching. Yeah. So that kind of, it's an allergy again, whereby this one cures. This one we call it Desmodium rapandum, scientific name. Yeah. So it is one of the very highly medicinal here. We have another plant here called the Samba Pali. It's a swing nettle, so don't move close there.
Inafanya nini?
Let us move. Let's go.
Amesema pia nguvu za kiume ziko. Nguvu za kiume.
So the outer tree we call it Ficus natalensis, and the host we call it Funtumia africana. Although the host one it's a softwood. So eventually it will the one that is inside will die, and then the fig tree will take over. And this fig tree, as it continue growing, it will fill all those caps that we can see through the host, and then now it becomes a habitat of the nocturnal animals. Like right now, if you walk around, you look for flying squirrel, you will not see it. You look for tree pangolin, you will never see it. You look for palm civet, you will never see it. So they are hiding in those holes that have been already closed of the strangler fig trees, or they hide in a very tense environment of vines like the other one. So it is very also important when it comes on habitat in the forest for the wildlife. But also it's a disadvantage because it kills some innocent tree. And how does this happen? It is not the wish of the fig tree to kill the host. The thing is, the fig tree produce a lot of fruits. And these fruits, they are eatable by birds and animals. So the seeds cannot germinate without being eaten by a bird or an animal. When the bird or a monkey making movement in the tree, then it disperses the seed. Wherever it's being dispersed, it will germinate. The shoot will go up, the roots will come down as it strangles the host. And fig tree, they grow 10 faster than the host. That is why it gets this chance of attacking other trees. And if the seed will be dispersed on the floor, it will just germinate like a normal tree. It will not harm any other tree. So that is what normally happens. And we have so many species of fig trees. We leave all trees to decompose like this.
Abraham,
yes.
Here fig tree ndo anasema it is the cursed tree.
No, there is no any cursed tree.
You think it's not here? My photographer. Let's block my photographer.
Eric saidiana bwana.
Okay, now as Kakamega Forest, in the rainforest, like this tree that is lying here, it is one of the historical tree in Kakamega rainforest. We used to call it Mama Mutere tree. In fact, when it fell down, tuliweka kwa media, ilikuwa kwa media. So this tree lasted 350 years old. We have a tree in this forest that has 750 years old.
Hey.
Forget about this tree. It needs 12 people to go around. Mshikane mikono hivi 12 people. Ndio mtengeneze hiyo cycle. Yeah.
Iko mbali.
Ni mbali kiasi. Hata kuna zingine tuko over 1000 years. Miti zinakaa lakini hazitembei. So, okay, his question. We have this tree. This tree is one of big five in the forest. First of all, this tree we call it Brunus africana. In English we call it red stingwood. This tree is endangered in Africa, not only in Kenya. It's endangered in Africa. In Congo, they've been clearing these trees because of easy highly medicinal as they export the barks to Asian country like India and all. This tree, the leaves, they cure malaria completely. It has quinine in it. So you'll find some local herbalists, they are using the leaves for malaria. Yeah.
Ama ni butterflies ama nyoka alafu turudi nyoka sio nyoka wewe anapenda nyoka na iko journalist etika ananika tawasongo mazingira lakini pia medicine
The forest plays host to millions of birds from Scotland, Poland, Netherlands, Australia, Germany and other countries during winter and flies back during summer.
This grassland is very important. So this area, it acts as a breeding site for birds. Okay, even when our birds comes from Europe to this place, actually you'll find they feed in this area because there's a lot of insects. You can see termite mounds. There is grasshoppers, crickets, there's so many insects here. Then we have those African migrants. We have some birds coming from South Africa to this place. Most of these, they are cuckoos. If you have heard some birds calling, that is one of the African cuckoo. You'll find it in Uganda, but originally it goes to South Africa, then it comes back here. We have quite many that are in the African migrants. Hiyo ni human soil, but ukienda hapo chini it is acidic.
Yeah. Lakini hii jamaa kuna Abraham hapo na info mwe pale.
Ndani ya Kakamega Forest. Hapa lazima uangalie chini, bure utajikuta huko chini kunateleza sana.
This one here, mtu anaweza kuimistake kuwa mawe.
Hii ni sponge. Mattress. Umesema mattress?
It has changed the perception of many, and even in terms of knowledge. One, I must say that you are extremely knowledgeable. And if we are looking at how to connect traditional knowledge and scientific, and where the two intersect, then you are one of the people that has that knowledge. I'm wondering, how do you do succession planning in such an environment, so that then tomorrow, 10 years to come, 30 years to come, you are not here permanently? As the community, some of the community members, they have this information, and maybe even you are a story in terms of how do you come to learn all these things, because you are not referring to any particular document. So Kongole,
I think you've just done a few minutes of a walk through Kakamega Forest, and this is one of the things that we want to now do continually as we move forward at the Media Council of Kenya, when we train especially on issues that have a practical aspect, to go into that practical aspect, so that you can be able to get story ideas, so that you can be able to see what some of the theories, some of the concepts that we discussed during our training, you are able to now see them in the practical sense.
To me is one, get stories. To come here, make Abraham talk, and then leave. Kumbe, and then you don't write any or broadcast anything. It doesn't help us, because we need to share this knowledge with others. It might not be cut and paste of what he was telling us, but you picking and internalizing. To me, that will be a major thing. Two, getting such content is not easy, even for you. You don't come to this forest every day, every minute. I mean, it's not easy. So as we have gotten a lot of content, please plan how to use your content that you got here. Don't go, you want to do story on butterfly, on bees, on snakes, on a tree in one story of 30 seconds. You'll have wasted content. So let's just plan and take time. These are stories you can write even for our whole, 2-3 months. It's not a hurry. So plan yourself, take time with your story. You can add in some more voices. You can pick from what we learned from class, mix with what you told us, and do a story that's, and add in maybe a street voice, so that you do something that you're also proud of. You are not just going to tick a box, I did. So take your time, internalize, utilize this knowledge. To me, I see so many stories. As an environmental journalist, I see so many stories. But for you colleagues who also want to see value in training in a class and taking people to the field. So again, you are the first team. We are trying the field visit approach training. So we want to see the advantage, what it comes.
First and foremost, we had a very interesting model for training on climate change adaptation reporting. It happened indoors, and it couldn't have been complete if we did not have this extension into the field where the rubber meets the road, because this is where we have actions. And to start with, now we have a thorough understanding of what climate change is, its manifestations, its characteristics, and how we can take actions to respond to the adverse impacts of climate change. What this forest is doing, and that's why we are strengthening mitigation through a tree, is that it serves as a link between the Earth's surface and the atmosphere. It's the only way that we can have moisture at the surface from a vegetated surface getting up into the atmosphere through evaporation from the soils and also transpiration through the what? The trees. Under an environment of rich energy from the sun, therefore, the issue of primary productivity of the tree, which we call photosynthesis, is very high.
The forest has socio-economic benefits to local communities, most of whom are farmers. Some get firewood from the forest.
Kwa upande wa msitu inanisaidia kuokota kuni, kuenda kutafuta kamba ya kuchengea nyumba. Na hii kuni kuingia ndani kuokota, huo ninalipia kifungo moja shilingi 120. Na upande wa mleshi nalipia shilingi 30 kifungo moja. Na kuingia ndani ninaingia saa 1, saa 6 niwe nimetoka msituni. Na kwa upande wa ng'ombe huwa tena inanisaidia. Napeleka ng'ombe, nikiwa na ng'ombe ni ng'ombe moja shilingi 116. Na nikiwa na ng'ombe mingi tena inatupenda kulipia nini hizo ng'ombe. Na ng'ombe nikipeleka msituni nalipia inaenda masaa ya saa 12, pia saa 12 iwe nimetoka nisipatikane kwa hiyo masaa nyingine. Hapo nitakuwa nimezuka sheria.
So wao unalipia au watu wa forest ndio wanakupatia sasa receipts za kuni?
Yeah. Okay. Kama sasa nimekuja kuchukua hiyo receipt ya kulipia kuni na pia mlisha kulipia kuni.
Okay. Na kuna na kando na kuni na chakula kwa ng'ombe yako na pia kamba umesema huwa mnatoa hapo za kwenda kufungia, za kujengea. So kwako wewe umuhimu mwingine hii forest kwako ni gani? Kama community ambayo inaishi around Kakamega forest.
Sasa kama niko karibu hivyo, mtoto anaweza kuwa kama mgonjwa, si ndio? Kuna madawa naenda ndani. Tumba ikiwa mtoto, hii kama sisi tunaitanga mweka hii, naingia ndani natafuta. Alafu hapo ndani kwa upande kama mboga huwa tumepewa onyo kama hii miti imewekwa chini, kuna vitu zingine zinamemea juu, tunaitanga sisi kwa kilugha yetu matere. Tena tumeambiwa tusitoe hiyo vitu ndani. Tusitoe hiyo vitu ndani. Hiyo matere ni chakula ya nyoka. Hapo ndani.
So wewe kama mtoto ni mgonjwa unaingia hapo, ushajua ni dawa aina gani unaenda kuchukua?
Mimi mwenyewe najua, naenda ndani kuchukua. Tumbe kikiuma kuna miti kama hii mnyama algon tree, huwa nachukua yenye ngozi yake naenda kuchemsha napatia watoto.
Tanya mwendo hospitali.
Tunaona corona umeshasikia corona imefika kwa kwetu. Hiyo dawa zinatusaidia sana. Nyingine tunaitanga mionyi. Hiyo mionyi unachukua unaweka kwa sufuria na unachukua kuna zingine kama hiyo yenye nasema algon, hiyo unaweka kwa sufuria unachemsha unafunikia watoto ndani.
Kwa blanketi.
Kwa blanketi mpaka hiyo mtoto atoke ndani kama amesweat.
Unakuwa umepona. Hiyo hata ni dawa ya corona. Huko hakuna corona.
Hiyo miti dawa ndio inasaidia. So mimi napenda msitu yetu kwa sababu ya hiyo meneno. Alafu tumepewa onyo, ukiingia ndani kwa mtu atamtaratibu utumie ukipata hapo ndani kuna mtu anaangusha miti anachoma makaa. Tumepewa ruhusa ya kupeana kwa askari ripoti mali fulani msitu nafanya nini inaharibika.
So nyinyi ni kama sasa pia askari wa huu msitu.
Sana kama mimi ni jela letu wa huko. Kitu kifanyika huko yafaa niseme mahali fulani wameangusha miti, wamepasua mbao, mahali fulani wameangusha miti, wanachoma nini, wanachoma makaa. Nisiwe nikipita
so kuna watu wenye huwa wanachoma makaa.
Watu wanaingia vichochoroni, wanaingia.
Na saa hizi wewe miaka yote yenye umekaa hapa, ukilinganisha hapo nyuma na saa hizi, msitu ukoje?
Sasa imeharibika. Sio kama hapo zamani. Hapana. Sasa hata mtu akisimama tu huko, unaona tu mtu ndio anapita. Sasa hii msitu imeharibika kuliko hapo nyuma.
Kuna mashirika yoyote ama serikali wamekuja kuwaongelesha kuhusu kuhifadhi huu msitu?
Kulikuwa na watu walitengeneza forestry kuja huko, na watu wa mulishi wakakuja huko, wakatuelezea, wakasema wenye tuko karibu na msitu tulinde msitu, kwa sababu hii msitu ni yetu. Tusiwe tukiharibu msitu, kwa sababu tukilinganisha na huko Kisumu, watu wako Kisumu wanatoa nyama samaki yao, lakini wanatoa kiasi. Sio hata sisi tukiingia ndani ya msitu tuwe tukitoa vitu vyetu kiasi, tusiingie tu fuafua, hapana. Hata kama umepata mti imekauka, hiyo usiangusha hiyo miti. Uchukue tu sakasenya imeanguka chini, iko chini, na uchukue, usiingie na panga. Tunaenda tu mikono ngapi? 2 tu.
Na wanasema kwamba wengine wameruhusiwa kulima kwa forest. Kuna wenye wanalima kwa forest?
Huko kwetu hapana, walisimamisha mpaka sasa hiyo bado. Lakini nisikie tu ripoti upande wa huko, na ukienda Senyende kuna kando ya msitu, au wamepewa tu hapo mahali wanalima, alafu miti wanataka kufanya nini, wanataka kupanda.
Okay. Ni upande wa mazingira waliwaambia unasaidia nini?
Mvua. Mvua. Tukijaribu msitu yetu tutapata mvua.
Saizi kumekuwa na mabadiliko upande wa mvua. Hapo nyuma labda mlikuwa mnapata mvua ya mwezi wa 4, mwezi wa ngapi, lakini sasa hii
mvua tungali tunakuja. Hatujafika kwa mahali
kiasi cha mvua labda bado inakuja mingi kama hapo nyuma ama?
Kiasi sio vile huko nyuma sana, hapana.
Sasa unafikiria ni kitu gani ambacho kimechangia nyenye hampati mvua kama
sasa? Mimi naona ni kama sasa vile watu wameingia ndani kukatakata miti hivi. Hapo nyuma kulikuwa na miti yetu ilikuwa tu mzuri, lakini kama sasa hivi watu wameingia maka.
Sasa wewe unaambia nini watu locals wa hapa kuhusu mambo ya kulinda haya mazingira?
Mimi nawaambia tulinde msitu yetu, kwa sababu tukiharibu msitu tutapoteza, kwa sababu kuna sehemu zingine wameharibu msitu kabisa, mpaka huko mahali hakuna mvua, hakuna chakula. Sasa si wenye tuko karibu tulinde forest yetu, ndio tupate vitu mingi. Tukiharibu tutakosa. Tutakosa hata mvua tutaikosa. So sisi wenyewe tulinde forest yetu.
Na wanasema mikombero imepungua.
Sio uongo, ni ukweli imepunguka, kwa sababu baya wao waliambia mkienda kuchimba mikombero rudisha hiyo nini hapo chini, ufunika mchanga. Ubaya wao wanatoa hiyo mikombero, lakini warudishe hiyo nini yenye wametoa mikombero ndani. Unajua ukitoa mikombero yapata ni urudisha na ufuni, kama vile unachimba tu viazi. Ukitoa viazi unarudisha mchanga, ili kesho nyingine fanye nini irudi. Sasa ubaya wakiingia ndani ukitoa nini mikombero wanatoa yote, wairudishe hiyo nini hapo chini wafunika, hapana. Hapo ndio wanafanya mikombero fanya nini inaanza kupotea.
Okay, sawa, asante sana. Umesema unaitwa nani?
Evelyn Mileta.
Kutoka
Shamiloli.
Sawa. Tuendelee kutunza mazingira. Muhimu sana. So umeona, umesema ya kwamba mvua imepungua. So kama mtaendelea kuharibu msitu, hakutakuwa na mvua kabisa.
Yenyewe kabisa, mimi naona tu.
Thank you so much for watching. For those who have not subscribed, kindly subscribe. Hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we upload more videos. But also please comment, share, and share. Till next time, I've been your host, Violet Auma. Bye-bye.